episode 8 series finale, not the season finale, but the series finale, because I guess we're done with this. Um, what if, what if this season was actually good? It's your boy Icon with another Marvel animated TV Disney Plus review for you. Going over the final episode of Marvel's What If. And before we get started, hit that notification bell, like it, or subscribe, and let's get started, because they phoned this one in. But actually, I like this episode. I did like this episode. It actually starts where we get the Watcher's backstory. Like, we see the day where he became the Watcher. And the person who's above him, he was just like, oh, this is our job to observe and report. And then he specifically said to the Watcher, he said, because he asked him, because the Watcher said, he was like, if I take the oath, he was like, you must take the oath. He's like, but if I take the oath, and you're just going to have me stand here and just like watch. He was like, what's the point of watching? Like he said, he's like, I'm supposed to watch and then do what? Like, what's the point of watching? And then he said, that's up to you. He said that it's your job to observe and then I guess come up with your own conclusions as to what's going to happen. So I'm like, well, shit. So once he said that, I was just like, so him interfering and intervening and doing certain things to help people, I like, that's his interpretation of what he feels he should be doing. But they were just like, they said he was wrong. So he took the oath, he took the sacred oath, and then he became the Watcher. So now it fast forwards to present day where he's locked up in chains, and the Guardians, like it feels like such a Green Lantern ripoff, but the Guardians of Oa, like they're standing there, he's on trial, and they're just like going down the line of everything he did. He was like, oh, you saved Riri Williams, which turned out to be nothing. You saved that kid off the train. He was like, he said you saved some person named Miriam with 2 N's and an E, and I have no idea what he's talking about. And then after that, and he was like, plus you saved Peggy Carter. And then they brought Peggy Carter up, and then he was like, what are you doing here, Peggy? And she was like, oh, I'm here to rescue you, of course. And then and it's just funny because the Watcher is the type of person where he speaks slow and like stoic. He's just like, oh, like we're here to ponder the questions of all reality, to answer the questions of what if. And then as soon as like Peggy showed up, and as soon as Storm and the rest of the gang and Ultron came out of nowhere, he's like, what the hell is this? He's like, what are you doing? He's like, who are these people? Why is Ultron here? Why do you have a ship? And I'm like, well, he's animated. But then, like it turned into this whole big thing where they ended up breaking him out. Ultron ended up like, releasing them from their chains, and the whole gang proceeded to run from the rest of the Watchers who watch the Watchers. So they're in the ship and they're trying to escape. Ultron's trying to hold them back. They ended up using their power to destroy Ultron and the Infinity Stones once and for all. I'm still wondering who gave them this ultimate power. And then they ended up going after the ship, and they crash land on some random planet. Their plan was, they wanted to try to get the Watchers to end up in Doctor Strange's universe, because they said since Doctor Strange in season 1 birthed an entire universe from himself, he is the universe. Like, he's the universe that was, it's like basically he's the God, he's God in that universe. And they said that he has absolute power over that universe, and once he's there, the other Watchers won't have power because, Stephen Strange reigns supreme. But before they could get there, they got knocked off course and they landed on some random planet. So now they're on the random planet, they're trying to fight the Watchers busting their ass, and then the Watchers like press them up against a rock and starts like pushing them and crushing them against the rock because he's going to kill them. And then that's when our Watcher, who we find out his name is Watch2 or something, he said that there's one way to save us, but you're probably not going to like it. And then because as a Watcher, he does have the ability to grant power to other people. So he said, in order for us to save you, you guys have to take the oath. So they recited the Watcher's oath in Brightest Day and Blackest Night, and they were granted the power of the Watcher, which made the other Watch upset because they're like, you shared our power with mere mortals. And then he's like, these are no mere mortals. So now this big magical fight happens with Birdie, Storm, Kiore, Peggy Carter, and the Watcher versus the other 3 Watchers. So it was a long fight scene too. It was pretty cool, but it lasted a very long time. And because this was the longest episode, the shit was like 35 minutes. But then like in the end, their power was because there was more of them than the Watchers. So like their power became like overwhelming. They blasted the Watchers, and I guess they were going to destroy them. And then at the last minute, Watch2, he was just like, no, release them. And then he was like, killing isn't the way. And then they was just like, well, that sucks for you, because the three Watchers combined their power. They started spinning around really quickly, and they said that we're going to destroy every single version of all of you all across the multiverse, all the lives that you touched, all the people that you helped, and we're basically gonna blow this shit up and start over from zero. Just before that happened, when everyone started disintegrating, and before like everyone completely that disappeared, Peggy's will, was stronger than anything, and she was just like, no, because like first her hand disappeared, and then she willed it back into existence, and then she made her way towards the Watchers, and then she started glowing, and then she flew up into them, and then Uwatch2 was like, Peggy, what are you doing? And she was like, I will not lose any friends today, and then, she took the shield and like crashed into the three spinning Watchers, and then when she crashed into them, it knocked them into Doctor Strange's universe. And I said, God damn it, how strong is Peggy Carter? I mean, granted, she has Watcher blood in her veins now. She has the power of the Watcher, but she knocked she hit them so hard they ended up in a whole new universe. And the universe that they're in now, they don't have any power because their powers are 9. Like, they say the nay, and Doctor Strange, like revokes their power. And then he was just like, oh, you stripped us of all power. And then he said, yes. He said, but now it's time to teach you like a new way, because he said that he said everything. He said that you taught me so much, and now it's my turn to teach you, because he said, like, you've been led astray. And he told him, he said that our mission, he's like, you told me that our mission was to observe and then come up with our own conclusion of that observance. And he said, for me, it's that, nobody is nobody, all lives are worth something, and everybody deserves a chance at victory. Everybody deserves a chance, to prevail, especially like the good people. So then the other Watcher had no choice but to say yes, because he didn't have any power. And he was like, you'll still teach me after everything I've done to you. And he was like, yes, because that is our way. And then after that, so that was it. So now they're going to live in Doctor Strange's universe. He's going to teach them the powers, the ways of the Jedi. But then in the end, they picked up Peggy's shield, and because it had broke, they put her shield back together, and then they basically was just like, oh, we miss Peggy, like Peggy sacrificed herself so that we could live. And then the Watcher said, it's funny because now I feel like someone's watching over me. And they just took her shield and just threw it out into space, and they were just like, oh, what are we gonna do now? And he was like, the same thing we always do. He's like, we watch, we listen, we observe, and then we will forever ponder the questions, what if? And thank you for tuning in, because that was how the series ended. So I don't know if Storm, Kiara, and Birdie are going to live with the Watcher now, and they're going to be the new Watchers and be the new observers, which is basically them interfering, like interfering on events and saving humanity. I don't know if Peggy's really gone, like, is she disintegrated? But I mean, we'll never find that out because the series is over. But we're just going to assume Peggy's gone, but her spirit resides in all of us. And like I said, we got 4 new Watchers now. The old guys, like the old guys club has been pushed to the side. And, Uwatch2, Storm, Kiara, and Birdie, they're going to, watch over the galaxy and all it surveys. So like I said, so that was pretty much it. That's how the series ended. If you're going to watch season 3, I mean, if you watched my review so far, but you haven't actually watched the series yet, if I'm being perfectly honest, the only 3 episodes that you need to watch is the Riri Williams episode, because that one was good. I was disappointed that the Riri becoming Vision meant nothing to the series finale, but it was still a good episode. And the last 2 episodes, like, if you watch season 1 and then watch season 2 and you want to know how all this concludes, just watch the last 2 episodes, because the previous 6 is trash. I mean, aside from the Riri Williams episode, like the rest of it, like, we got 8 episodes and 5 of them shits was trash. So that was, I mean, for when it comes to, like I said, when a series is concluded, we give it a nay, we give it a yay, or we give it an okay. And unfortunately for season 3 of Marvel's What If, with the exception of those 3 episodes, I say the nay. It's really not worth it. Yeah, it's not worth it. Go back and watch season 2, and then after you watch season 2, watch the last 2 episodes of season 3, and you'll be good. But share your questions, comments, and/or concerns down below, and let's continue to talk about it. What did you think of Marvel's What If you watched all 8 episodes? Like I said before, the fact that they put out 1 episode a day told me that they didn't care about it either. They were just trying to get it over with. But share your questions, comments, and concerns. Who was your MVP? I mean, like I said, the best episode was the second to the last 2 episodes. Peggy's always going to be my favorite character. I always going to love me some Kiara. Birdie was trash, and I felt like we should have got more Storm and we didn't get more Storm, but let me know what you guys thought and we will continue to discuss. So check out my other reviews because I have Creature Commandos up on my channel, and now that Marvel's What If is officially over, we're going to finish Creature Commandos and we're going to do that Peacemaker when Peacemaker comes out, and we're going to do Harley Quinn in January. So till next time, guys, for some more Red Eyes Entertainment, Happy New Year to everybody, because after this, by the time we see you again, it'll be 2025 and to infinity and beyond. Until next time, as always, guys, take care, ponder those questions, and we're out this bitch!